Welcome to the first ever episode of the Dreams to Reality podcast. I am your host, motivational speaker, Cameron Parker, and today is the first episode and we got a very, very special guest and actually a good friend of mine, Gabriel Sey. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good, man. It's good to be here.
Thank you. How does it feel being back in Bristol?
Bro, it's... Firstly, if I say you're set up now to when we first... I know we're going to get into it, but when we first met and we first did that radio show and stuff, this is insane.
Yeah, I'll explain that in a minute. But quick heads up, for people who don't know who you are,
Yeah.
what do you do? What's your job, if you have a job? I know what you do, but explain to everybody else what you do on a daily basis and kind of, just what you do.
Well, the technical term is a social media influencer. So
You have to be tall to be one of those. Yeah. I'm trying and growing.
So basically, I've got a YouTube channel that I've had for, it's almost 7 years.
A long time.
Yeah, 7 years on YouTube, Instagram, and I post like fitness content along with I've started introducing my family into it, and yeah, just to kind of motivate people to be a better self.
Okay, good. So talking about social media and YouTube and stuff like that, we're going to really dig deep in today because especially when I go into a lot of schools and colleges, you always hear these kids talk about how they want to become YouTube stars, gamers and stuff like that. So for one, I feel that the topics we're going to touch on today is going to be very relevant for that. And also, obviously, you're a father, you're married. So also, what I really want to get out of today is that how you balance everything as well. Because I feel like there's a lot we can learn from you. Because from the outside perception, it looks like you're doing it right. And obviously, there's that common line that social media is the highlight reel and stuff like that. So I would like to kind of dive into that as well. But just to let you guys know, you used to be American football, but played for a couple teams older than me at the time. Yeah. So when I was playing American football, when I was 16, 17, 18, I used to look up to Gabe massively. One, because we played similar positions. Two, he was crazy. And also because I was very small and the players I was playing against were a lot bigger, I knew I had to be crazy to at least stand a chance with them. Yeah. So I looked up to you because of that. Also, you was hench from the gym as well. So you just this pure hench guy who was crazy. And that's where the fitness comes in. Because to begin with, you started doing fitness competitions, bodybuilding competition or physique competitions. And that's really when we started to connect a little bit more. So just to break down really where our relationship started properly was, I actually invited Gabe to my flat in Bristol because we said we'd come, we'd chill for a little bit. And then I had a radio show at that time, very early on. And you came and we kind of chopped it up a little bit. And then we obviously done the show. Yeah. And the reason why I want to do this today is because I promised you that we was going to get that show out and we recorded it and we never did. So I'm trying to make up for that today. And hopefully with the Gadget Line supporting us, he's trustworthy. So I'm sure we'll get it out today. But with that said, fitness.
Yeah.
Your journey did start around fitness, really. Would you say that?
Yeah. Fitness was kind of like the catalyst for everything.
Tell me more.
So, all right. So, how far do we go back?
From when you first thought fitness could become a career, maybe when you first wanted to start taking it more seriously, going onto the stage and doing shows. Also, I knew you was coaching people as well to lose weight and stuff like that as well, do similar things. So what point did it become a kind of job for you or something you was going to follow?
I think it was the point that I realized that 9 to 5 just wasn't me.
Okay.
You know, some people, and this is the thing, being an entrepreneur isn't for everyone. And sometimes people are like, oh yeah, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to do this. I want to do that. But really, do you really want to do it? And some people are built for the 9 to 5 work. Some people are built for whatever job they're doing kind of thing. But I just knew that I wasn't built for normal 9 to 5 stuff. Telling me what to do, it didn't work.
So at what point did you realize that? Did you, when you was in university, did you have part-time jobs? Have you had jobs before?
Yeah, so that I did a lot of work at Carphone Warehouse.
Okay.
So that was like pretty much my whole time at uni was at Carphone Warehouse, but that
Cut
was
that
so
out,
relaxed.
Dave, because promotion right there.
Oh yeah, I was at a phone shop. So yeah, that was really lax. It was like really chilled. Like everyone was uni students, so it was really easy. Then, you know, came into the big bad world. Stayed at Carphone for a little bit, and then I joined Enterprise Car Rental. Sorry, joined the phone shop.
Yeah.
But then I left there, and then I went into like a car hire company.
Okay.
And they just ran me into the ground.
Wow. Okay.
It was fun because it was a graduate program, so everyone was on your same level kind of stuff.
Oh, so it was a graduate program, was
Yeah,
it? Okay,
yeah.
so this was the point you were trying to get your life together, in
Yeah.
a way.
So I was like, oh, I need a graduate job. I need to like find my career and that kind of thing. And I was like, oh, and I love cars, so let me go into this car hire business or whatever. And they were like, oh, like showing you all of the numbers that you can achieve and all that kind of stuff without telling you that, yeah, some days you'll be in at 7 and you don't get home till 10. Then there's like, to make extra money, you'll be up till like 1 a.m. delivering cars and stuff like that. And I'm like, yo, like, and they just drilled you into the ground. It was like soul destroying. So I was like, yo, let me find something that I can get, in a sense, quick money. Not in the sense that most people think they're like, oh, I'm going to go on the roads and I'm going to get quick money.
Yeah.
I was like, no, let me go into recruitment.
Okay.
So then recruitment, I was like...
I guess recruitment wasn't a massive thing back then, because now
No.
I hear a lot about recruitment.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge now because it is that thing of like, if you get that one good phone call and you place that one good person, that is a big commission check.
Okay.
So the earning potential is like, it's through the roof. So I went in with an exit strategy.
Okay, I got you.
So whilst I was at the car rental place, I was already building my plan of like what I wanted to do. And it was within fitness. Originally, I wanted to work with kids.
Okay.
I wanted to do because I love the American football side of things, because anyone, any height, shape, form, whatever.
Height.
But it's true. Everyone can play a position.
Yeah, it's true.
Anyone of any type can play a position and dominate.
My position was water boy. So you're right.
So like that fascinated me to the point that I was like, yeah, I'd love to instill this kind of like mentality into kids. So I had a whole structure. I'm not going to say what the structure was because I still might bring it out.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was
I
like,
gotta say.
it was just, it was just kind of like a very diverse approach.
Okay.
To, and you know, nothing was like labeled. You know, if you're holding a ball, it wouldn't be a football. It would just be a ball.
Okay.
Kind of thing. And you know, that was my thinking behind it. And I was like, right, so I need to save up X amount of money. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start a personal training business to try and just generate more income and get my foot in the door within the fitness industry.
So did you go into recruitment? Did you get into recruitment?
Yeah, so I did a year in recruitment.
Okay, I got you.
And that was just to like literally just to save money.
Okay. Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Saved the money that I needed, got a new car, everything that I wanted, which I had to sell like to keep the business afloat, like later down the line.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you was doing recruitment,
Yeah.
and the goal was to then go into fitness and start your own business.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, good.
So then 2012, I started my YouTube channel. I registered the business, and I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to be a personal trainer, get my foot in the door, save some money in that side of things, and then start up this kids thing. That was the plan. And then, yeah, that was the hardest year I've ever gone through.
What, the first year of business?
Yeah, the first year of it, like, all right, so I'll paint the picture. Printed out flyers. I had all the money there. I bought all the equipment.
Flyers. That's the first
I
thing
know,
you do.
it's mad.
Everyone...
Flyers, business cards, and then you realize that you don't need any of them.
It's true.
So I was like walking up and down. Like, where was I? Where did I start? Chelsea. So up in like central London, Ladbroke
Okay.
Grove. But every day I was up and down there handing out business cards, trying to stop people to talk to them. Are you interested in personal training? And it was only at that point I realized, wow, this is freaking tough. I didn't get any clients for like the first like, what, 3-4 months.
But let me ask you a question. Okay, for the first 3 to 4 months, that's a good point. If you was the Gabriel Sey you are now, back in 2012, Do you think you would convert more clients now because you're a lot more confident, you know a lot more, or do you think it would still be as tough? Because it is a growing process.
Yeah.
Because I was even talking to Dave Gadgetline, and we all go through the same process. Everything you say there is never as easy as you want it to be.
Yeah.
But I wish I knew what I knew, say, 5 years ago when I first started.
Yeah.
But would you say there would have been a difference, or do you feel like you just had to go through that process to be where you are today?
I think, yeah, that process was definitely like, it builds a resilience in you.
Okay.
If you can get through that, then, you're built for this game. Because at every single point of like my whole career up until now, there have been points like that.
Of course.
So if I'd given up then, I wouldn't be here now.
Did you consider it? Did you consider going back into recruitment or something easy path?
Nah. The day that I left my job, it was funny because I handed in my resignation and they're like, "Oh, you have to do 30 days notice." The day that I left and I walked out, I walked out smiling. I was walking up the road to my car and it was just anxiety just hit me.
Okay.
And I was like, what have I done? But then as soon as I started the process of my plan and I was like, okay, so, 5 months down the line, I'm still not making any money, but I can't go back to that.
Wow. So for your personal life, obviously you're married now. You got a little one who's 3 years old. Was you with your wife then?
Yeah, we met in 2012 as well.
You met in 2012?
Yeah.
So did that have a big impact? Did she support you through the whole process? Did that help you get through it?
But she was...
Or did you feel a little bit more pressure because you felt like, I have to step up and I'm not doing it right now? Or what was the kind of... Because a lot of people say they can't go after their goal, they can't go after their dream because they got this responsibility, they got this going on, they got the pressure from their partner, all these different things. Did you feel any of that, or was it just you were just getting through it together? Yeah,
she was like, she's a big part of this whole process. Those few months.
She looks stronger than you too.
Those few months, that whole year, like, she was holding the fort. Like, wow. I told her to leave her personal training job and just go freelance.
Okay. So she had a personal training job, did she?
So she was a personal trainer as well. And I was like, leave the gym and find a private studio and train your clients out there. You'll retain so much more money. So she did. And then those few months, she was holding it down.
Okay, wow.
And then it got to the point that it was just like, yo, I need to go into a gym.
Okay.
To get a base. But I always go into something with an exit strategy. If you don't go in with an exit strategy, then you'll get comfortable.
Wow. Okay.
So I was like, yo, 3 months in this gym, build up the clients, build the trust, and take them to a private studio. And she was the one that had the connections with the gym to then get me into there.
Okay.
So it's like...
So you took a job?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, she's the biggest part of like that process.
Okay, so how long into being self-employed did that happen? So you said the first 3 to 4 months it was a struggle.
Yeah.
What point did you go into the gym?
September 2012.
So how deep into that 1 year was that?
So I started in February, and then
Yeah. So then you said in the first year you had to sell your car.
Yeah.
So financially you wasn't in a good place.
No.
Okay, so how did that affect you? How did that bother you? Savings running out, selling cars, did that have a big impact on you? Did it make you hungrier, or did it nearly force you to quit?
I don't think anything's like forced me to quit. The times that it makes you reevaluate and makes you gets you to understand like different things, like the importance of a BMW. I love that car. That car was, but getting rid of it wasn't a big deal. I got rid of it and got a van so I could run boot camps.
Okay, wow.
So it's forward thinking. I can get another one later. People keep asking me now. It's like, oh, well, you're doing this, and you're doing this, and you're doing all these brand deals and stuff. And it's like, why don't you get a new car?
Yeah.
Do I need it yet?
Okay. So
it's like everything has to have a purpose, and everything has to have a point. And so it didn't affect me at all. Because I knew that there was a bigger picture.
Okay, so when did you come to Bristol the first time? When was it?
I
Was it
came
2012 or
Oh,
13?
what to come and see you?
Yeah,
I think it was
13 probably.
I think it was 2013.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's fast forward a little bit. Because in 2013, I remember we sat down, we were chilling. At this point, it was in my freezing cold flat.
Actually, it's 2014.
2014
Yeah,
was it?
yeah.
Okay. And I could barely afford my rent at the time. I was trying to build the motivational speaking element of doing what I'm doing. And we were both kind of in a similar position. But by that point, you've done a couple competitions. You built a bit of a name for yourself. Some of your videos have done well on YouTube, but they were just kind of normal videos, I guess.
Yeah.
You made the most of them at the time.
Yeah.
But you were in a mind state where you kind of had a bit of enough of fitness, really. You
Yeah.
didn't really want to coach people anymore. You didn't really want to just be hench for the sake of being hench.
Yeah.
We didn't really talk about the exit strategy then because you still seemed a bit up in the air about it.
Yeah.
But how did you go from the fitness element, just being a fitness coach, personal trainer guy, to then going over, transitioning properly over to YouTube, but then also adding value in different ways, not just fitness? Because a lot of your videos are based around fitness, but
Yeah.
then a lot of them are not either.
Yeah.
So, like, how did you take that transition? Was that a conscious decision? And where did you really start?
That's a good question.
Where did you really start? Like, okay, I'm going to try something a little bit different.
I think so. The first, like, I didn't have like a full like plan of like, oh, I want to get here. It was kind of like I set little blocks of what I wanted to improve. So like I started with storytelling. I wanted to improve my storytelling, so I started watching people like Swoozy, Superwoman, and other YouTubers like that, completely out of fitness, that were just really good at storytelling.
Interesting. That's
So
interesting.
because I think like if you stay in the fitness bubble, because it's quite small anyway, you end up just doing what everyone else is doing.
That's fascinating.
So how do you differentiate yourself from the crowd when you're doing what everyone else is doing?
That is so important. People, that is key. What
So-
you just said then is key for development.
Yeah.
That is so key. So you start watching these other people, and then what happened?
You'll see like a phase within my videos where it was like, right, yeah, he's watching Swoozy and Superwoman.
Okay.
Because like, and that's where the comedy started coming. And I was like, all right, I kind of like this because that's me anyway. I've always been like a joker. I've always been a clown kind of thing. So then to bring comedy into something where people are trying to learn stuff kind of breaks down that barrier a little bit. And my thought process was, right, when people see me, they're like, big black guy. How do I break down that barrier?
When people see me, they think small white guy.
So like there's people like Simeon Panda, Mike Rashid,
Okay, yeah.
all of those people, and they're great at what they're doing. Like Mike Rashid's a really cool guy, but they're kind of like, you know, you're the typical like what you think of a black guy in fitness.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be that,
So you had an element. You either go down that route or you go down the route you went down.
and that's what I
guess.
was doing before.
Yeah.
And that's why my old videos back then, I remember you saying, "Oh, you're not being you," because it's like I'm trying to play to this persona that people expect of me.
So that's key. So I want to bring it back firstly for people watching this, and if you want to learn something, I think regardless of what field you are in, it's not just about content creation. It's also about whatever field. Even if you're in recruitment, you can learn from different elements, different businesses,
Oh, hell
and
yeah.
how people are doing different things.
Yeah.
So like for me, obviously I say, okay, I'm a motivational speaker. When I'm doing a session and people walk in, they see the name on the board, they're like, oh, it's gonna be one of those. But by the end of it, their perception is completely changed. Because let's be honest, how many motivational speakers are full of rubbish? Loads.
Yeah.
How many life coaches are there?
Yeah, exactly.
They're full of rubbish.
Exactly.
And it's just, I knew I didn't want to be a part of that. I wanted to kind of walk the walk. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And there's one thing what people cannot argue is, I do what I do every single day.
Yeah.
I was in 7 different places this week.
Yeah.
Every single day. So it's not just a kind of name I put up on my social media and I pretend I am. It's something that I really am.
Yeah.
But I feel like that only came from listening and learning from different people in different industries.
Yeah.
Which is crucial.
Because even like motivational speaking, like my head straight away goes to lawyers.
Yeah.
like how they present themselves, like because you have to present yourself in a certain way to be persuasive, and it's just mad. So like I always just try and think outside of the box of what message am I trying to put across, and what am I trying to do, and what am I trying to teach, and who can give me these attributes that I can learn.
Wow. So was it hard to be your true self? So once again, taking it back, when I first became a motivational speaker, I felt like I had to follow people like Eric Thomas, say no sleep, waking up at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. But now I'm educated a bit more. I actually realize how important sleep is.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I used to think, you know what, I was so fake back then, and I was giving people what I thought they wanted to hear. But since actually being honest and real and talking about my struggles and my own problems, people started to open up more.
Yeah.
I started to get more bookings.
Yeah.
But you said about you being quite a funny guy, and you are. So when we first properly sat down, I realised that straight away. I said to you, bro, I don't think like you're being as honest as you can be in your I don't think you're being yourself.
Yeah.
You felt you was a lot more serious, you're a bit more stiff.
Yeah.
You wasn't you. You were like a really upfront, positive, kind of happy and joker guy.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you wasn't displaying that. So was it hard to show people the real you?
It is, because it, like, at the end of the day, you're putting yourself out to potentially millions of people, and being vulnerable in a sense to millions of people, not sure how they're going to receive it. That's the scary part. And it was only, if I'm honest, it was building. And it was last year, April.
Okay.
That
Last
actually
year, April.
it just switched.
What did the numbers jump from?
I was on 70k, and by it jumped. Yeah, I was on 70k, and then now I'm on 322. So that's it, just over a
Last
year and a
April,
half.
oh wow,
Yeah.
That's incredible. But then what people don't realize is that comes down to 5 years of consistent work.
Yeah, and
5
that's like
years of consistent work. It's not that year and a half you blown up from, you had over 200,000 plus subscribers.
Yeah.
That took 5, 6 years,
Yeah.
7 years for you to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So when did you start to do the change? So, okay, we talk about you was learning from other different people. Then was you just starting to work on your storytelling? Was you writing the plan for a video down before you did it? Or did you just do it off the cuff? How did you go about creating your content?
Before I just did it freestyle. You know, like I had a lot in my head, and I felt like I tried writing stuff down before, but writing stuff down just kind of like, it bogged me down and I wouldn't get my message across properly.
Okay.
So I would just freestyle, and it worked for a bit until I realized that I need to start making some bullet points. But it's just a learning process to understand your system. And for like people who are wanting to pursue YouTube and stuff, some people find their voice and find their system straight away, and you see that they blow straight away. But my dad always said every dog has his day, and my day was later because I needed to find me.
Okay.
I needed to understand me. If like you're not given something if you can't handle it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't ready to take on that responsibility because, you know, maybe my content wouldn't have come across the same way. So, you know, I'm always happy to be patient, and it was just, you know, just build on myself to before like hitting that point.
You wasn't ready for it. That's true. And there's a quote I share that it's better to be prepared for an opportunity you do not have yet than have an opportunity and not be prepared.
Yep.
And when I first met you, let's be honest, I felt like I was one of the best speakers in the UK then. But when I look back, I wasn't. Does that make sense? And if I had as many opportunities as I had, say, this week, I had done 1,400 miles this week.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Spoke to over 1,000 people. And if that was 5 years ago, I didn't even have a car.
That's why it's funny. Like I remember reading in a newspaper, it was like a comedy skit, comic strip, and it was like, oh, I really want money. I keep praying to win the lottery, but my prayers never answered. And then the next bit is like, but you never bought a lottery ticket.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Like you haven't put yourself in a position to be given what you're asking for, but you're still asking for it.
That's so true. That is so true. So along the way as well, did you edit your videos as well?
Yeah.
So you filmed, you created the content, and you edited it.
Yeah.
Do you still do that now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, how did you learn? What did you go to uni for? What was your degree?
Motorsport engineering.
Motorsport engineering. Randomly. Motorsport. Okay. Okay, so how did you become basically a professional film editor?
I taught myself.
And actor. Not an actor because you're being yourself, but you're performing in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And a film guy. How did you learn to do it all?
Self-taught.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. I just like YouTube is a big part of it. If I like the thing is, I always say to people, like, when people want to be in a creative field, you can't teach creativity.
Okay.
You can teach tech, but you can't teach creativity. So like,
Wow.
you know, like you've got some people like, I want to be an artist. But do you even, like, if I said, okay, give me your interpretation on this picture, and they're like, and they can't think of anything, you're not meant to be an artist, because you should be able to already paint the picture in your head before it comes onto paper.
Oh, wow.
I create like, I'm vlogging today. I've already built how I'm editing the video in my head.
So you're going to vlog this bit as well today?
Yeah.
Can you do me a favour?
Yeah.
Just make me look a bit taller. Is that alright? Can you do that?
I'll like cut the screen.
Put my hairline forward a bit.
Like, raise the seat.
Alright, you took that too far. I know you're good, but you're not that good, alright? Right. Okay, so you learn it all. So I guess that's also a part of the consistency of the 5 to 6 years of doing what you're doing. And the quality of your videos become better and better.
But this is the thing, like when I started True Beast Athletics, I'm not sure if we're gonna go into a bit later on, but
he's plugging.
My ethos behind that is master your craft, and that's all I've been trying to do. So the video that blew, that created all of this, is Bodybuilder Does Gymnastics. That was when I said, you know what?
I thought it was your deadlift video, bro. How to do a deadlift. That's got like 1 million views, hasn't it?
That's on 5 million.
5 million views?
It still draws in traffic, but it brings in traffic for people that want tutorials. Yeah,
it's not yeah.
So I was like,
how to do a deadlift? He's just in the gym lifting up a bar with his bum out. Like.
So I was like, you know what? I don't care what people think. I'm going to make myself look silly on camera trying to learn how to do front flips.
Okay.
And that video blew. But if I hadn't learnt the process and understood and put 100% into every single video before that,
wouldn't have got there.
The snowball effect would have happened. It would have been a one-hit wonder. So it's another key example is Michael Dapper.
There never is just one thing, though. There never is just one thing.
Exactly.
So you say that made you blow, but then you say about the deadlift video, but then you got probably like 5 or 6 different videos what had great traffic leading up to that point.
Yeah.
So it's a slow
process.
Because then obviously Google and YouTube support that as well, don't they?
Yeah.
If they see that you're consistent, they support your content more. Instead of just posting one video now and again, because let's be honest, you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
The amount of times I've been waiting for that perfect video, released it 4 months later, and done nothing. I don't even like the video anymore. But that's how fast things move.
Yeah.
So I think, So you did the gymnastics video, I watched, which was interesting. So then did you try and aim for more videos like that? Was you trying to be a bit more strategical then? How did you go about it?
Yeah, I think strategy is a big part. Once you find your formula, and when you find yourself, because before, like when you're doing things, you're just kind of like testing the waters. Yeah, I'll try this and see what happens. And this is what people are scared to do, and it frustrates me so much. They spend so much time like asking me, Gabe, do you reckon I should do this? Gabe, do you reckon I should do this? What about it? Just do it. Try it. Try and test it. They're like, oh, Gabe, what's the best carbs to have? I don't know. Try it. Like, that's the thing. Like, try and test it. See if it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it does, it does. And you've personally gone through it to understand it. So it's like.
But how long do you test it for? That's a good question.
You have to give it time. Some people, they're just one and done. It's like, it didn't work. And it's like,
because if you just tested YouTube early on, you wouldn't be where you are now.
Exactly.
If you quit after 3-4 videos.
You have to, it has to be a consistent thing. But at the same time, you push it to a point where you're like, okay, it's not working. I need to axe this. And that might be 8 videos down the line. But most people, they do 2 videos and they're like, oh, no, it's not working. But what it could be is you just need to do that one more. And as you're learning the process and as you're learning everything, you might tweak the thumbnail a little bit. You might tweak the title a little bit. And then that one just goes bang. and then they see the rest of them,
Yeah.
which you've also put in 110% effort into. So it's...
But to be fair, give yourself credit as well. I still think 8 videos is too short to quit on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's even like podcasts. I don't know the actual statistic, but I've read it somewhere. Something like 90% of podcasts don't get past the 13th episode. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's telling me straight, I need to do 50 straight away.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then maybe if I get to 50 and it doesn't work, then maybe...
Yeah. And you have to... I always tell people to acknowledge the small wins and celebrate the small wins.
Okay.
Because you might put out a video...
Okay, wow.
And it's, maybe you've got 1,000 subscribers and you get 500 views.
I've got more than that to say. Just about.
It'd be like, 500 views, that's half of your viewership that are watching the video. That's a big deal. Because if you multiply that into the millions and you have 1 million subscribers and 500,000 people are watching it, you'd be happy as hell. So why can't you be happy when you've got... It's not like you've got 1,000 subscribers and one person's watching it.
Yeah.
That's then you need, and then the one person that's watched
that
it,
they've
they've
paid for your subscribers.
Yeah.
Basically.
And then the one person that's watched it, they've disliked it.
Okay.
That's then like, yeah, you're doing something wrong. You need to reevaluate. But
have you been watching my videos or something? You've been the one disliking my video. You're the one view I get and the one dislike I get. Oh, I know. Now I know. Cheers, mate.
Where it's like those small steps and the small wins.
So what do you do to celebrate them?
You just...
What do you do?
Acknowledge it.
Okay.
People, like, everyone wants to acknowledge the bad stuff. And no one wants to acknowledge the good stuff.
So easy to, though.
Yeah, it's so easy. And that's why, like, I've started using this thing called a 5-minute journal.
Okay.
So it's basically a gratitude journal. It takes 5 minutes. But,
No, guess how long it takes? 5 minutes.
You do it in the morning, you do it in the evening. And
is it 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening?
It's about 2.5 minutes each.
Oh, okay, I got you. There you go.
Or maybe 3 and 2.
It depends when you're switched on or not.
But yeah, you just acknowledge gratitude in different things. And what I realized from that is a lot of people try to think too deep on it. Oh, I'm so grateful for this house that I live in, and for this water that's coming out of my faucet, and it's just it doesn't have to be that deep. Like,
so what do you give thanks to? Your beard?
Yeah, I'm grateful for a good beard. I'm grateful for these trainers that I was able to buy. I'm grateful for being able to drive. There's so many, like, there's tiny things, like little things. Like, most people won't say, oh, I'm grateful to be able to drive, but there's someone else down the road that hasn't got legs that can't drive. So it's like drawing gratitude from everything.
Yeah.
Just helps you to really understand the world, and to, like, when you do have a small success, it then becomes a big deal and drives you on to do better things.
I guess even having your family as well, having a little one, having your wife, that also probably brings in a lot of appreciation and gratitude as well.
But again, I feel that's on a deep level. But there's tiny things.
But things like even taking your son to school is tinier things, but I think it's something...
Like being able to, I don't know, being able to buy him trainers.
Okay.
Being able to buy him a winter coat.
I'm going to get into the family and stuff a bit later, but you mentioned briefly about Big Shaq, and we were talking about consistency and stuff. What was you going to say about him? I think I know what angle you're going to take, but what would you say was similar to what he's doing or what you've done, or what, just from what you see the industry doing? Because the way I understand it, not to try and steal your thunder, is I didn't know who he was until obviously the video came out when he did the fire in the booth.
Yeah.
But like anything, I'm a great believer it takes 10 years to become an overnight success.
Yeah.
So now I went onto his YouTube page and actually seen him doing comedy stuff for years.
I was watching him from back in the day.
How back in the day?
Like from about, because he's probably about before that video blew, a year before that.
Wow, okay.
Because it just popped up. It popped up in my recommended feed, and it was the counsellor that pairs up as a taxi driver, and like, I was in stitches. Then all of a sudden I see he's firing the booth, and I'm like,
the thing goes, but
I kind of recognize this guy. Then he started rapping, I was like, for God's sake. Like, it was funny, but then I was like, and it just went crazy.
He blew.
But then people then realized he's been on the scene for ages. Stormzy again. Stormzy's the same. Stormzy's putting out music from day on YouTube. From day. Like he's, I think, probably about 2 years prior to Fire in the Park. There's a trend there. I need to do like, I don't know, Fire in the Podcast. Maybe that will blow, and then, you know.
Write that one down. Write that one down.
But yeah, so Stormzy was doing music from day. And then that one track made people see him. And that's all it is. People need to, like, you can have all the talent in the world, but people need to see you. I was talking to someone, I did a panel last week, and they were like, oh, I've got all these ideas and all this kind of stuff, but, you know, how do I put it out? Where do I put it out? And I was like, you're thinking too much. Just put it out. Like, or you're trying to think of the logistics of, oh, but I need this cameraman, I need this. Just put it out. It can be on a flipping iPhone, but your story, people won't see you if you don't show yourself.
And you won't get good at talking in front of a camera and putting stuff out there unless you do it.
Exactly.
Because let's be honest, you're probably going to do a video, say, to your phone, and it's probably going to be terrible to begin with. You still pull it out, but the more you do it, the more comfortable you become. I would love to have the footage from the radio show we done, say, back in the day. Because I bet this is completely different to as it was then.
Because back then, even like some of my videos, I watch them back, and I'm like, bro, what was I doing? Trying to play to that persona. Like, instead of like me sitting like tall like this and, you know, talking, enunciating and stuff, I'd be like sat back like this.
I was slouched a little bit then.
And I'm like, trying to do the cool face.
Okay.
And then my sister rang me afterwards after I put out the video, and she was like, did you just wake up? And I was like, yo, something needs to change.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's just mad how, like, the only way that I was able to actually get past that is to just keep doing it and doing it and doing it and test and test and test.
So does everybody love your Cockney accent now?
People love Mike.
Who?
He's
got a name?
Yeah, he's the alter ego. Like, you know, like I'll do split screen, you know, and he'll come in and he'll like, I have conversations with him, you know, and I don't know, it's a difference. It's another level of Gabriel.
So why did you do that?
I don't know. I found like in some of my videos, the voice was just coming out anyway.
Yeah,
and
I felt like that.
Yeah. Because it was almost like
I almost watched you and think like he just can't help himself now. Like he just doing it. That's just who he is.
Because even like then I started to realize how much I love doing voices. I remember when I was living in Bristol and me and my friend went to IKEA, and I just kept doing.
Plug these shops.
So we went to a furniture store,
a very big one,
a big one, Swedish of sort.
Oh, just give it away. Then. There's only one Swedish shop.
And yeah, I went through the whole thing doing an Irish accent. The whole day. I was like, nothing actually, it didn't actually make sense. But he was just like, bruv, can you please just shut up? And I was like, no, I can't stop.
Just enjoying it too much.
And then like, Can you
give us an example of the Irish accent?
Oh, I'm not sure if I can do it.
He's choking.
He's choking.
Can't choke you, I got no neck.
I'll leave it. I'll leave
All
it for now. I don't want to, you know, embarrass like the Irish people by doing it too well.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, that worked. Anyway, moving on. Back to what were we talking about? YouTube, fitness.
Yeah. So the voices came out because it was almost like it was a bridge. It bridged the gap from the persona that I brought myself up to, where I'm trying not to play up to what people expect of me, to this is all of me.
Okay.
And that kind of like connected the dots.
So you're also breaking boundaries really as well. You're challenging yourself as well.
You have to.
And back to what we said a minute ago, you're testing things. So probably because it had such a great reception, because I liked it, you do it more.
Yeah.
And you start to think, how can I add this in more? I think. So yeah, I think you're definitely right. I think you tested it, and I think people do like it. You even do it on your Instagram stories. You do loads of different things. So it just keeps things interesting. I didn't know it had a name. I'm not going to lie. I didn't know Mike had a name. Okay, good. So then, you're getting YouTube success. Your clothing.
Okay.
So remember back in the day, I had the clothing. Can you remember?
Yeah.
Hungry Underdogs clothing.
Hungry Underdogs.
Maybe we might do a bit more later on, but it's a hard business to get into.
Yeah.
Have you experienced that? Why did you decide to do the clothing? Because it's not just clothing, like big bright clothing. It's actually, to me, it looks well thought out clothing. Like you've actually really thought about it. You're not trying to overdo it, and you're trying to do something what looks comfortable and what looks smart at the same time.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wouldn't know what it feels like because you haven't given me anything. But with that said, I'm sure you got a car full for all of us here. That's okay.
Yeah, I do.
Or did Mike leave it in London?
In the post.
So what did you do? When did you jump into the clothing element of things?
That was one of the things. Like, if I go back to my books at uni, my notepads, it's full of drawings.
Okay.
Full of drawings of clothes. And then back then, I actually tried to start something and realized how hard it is. I was trying to use like stock clothing. I wasn't using manufacturers and stuff, and like that, the learning process. And then I left it for ages. And then after a while, I was like, I've got long arms. So every time I buy a top, it's always here.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. So you got long arms?
So I just got frustrated with how clothes were being made.
Okay.
So I was like, let me just do what I wanted to do in the first place and create clothes that, you know, solve a purpose, which was me. Because I think like a lot of the time when people try and think of businesses, they try and think of a really elaborate kind of like solution for something, when sometimes it's just staring at them right in the face. And the problem is with them. And you don't realize that people can relate to your problems. So I started it, and I was like, started with what, £150? £50.
Wow. Okay.
So
what was the first step? What did you do?
Found manufacturers. So I went on Alibaba and just tried to find people that would allow me to do like low stock quantities.
Yeah. Was that difficult?
Yeah.
Okay.
It seemed like all of them were in Pakistan.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, cool. Let me just weed them out. After talking to loads of them on WhatsApp, I realized that half of them just lie through their damn teeth.
Okay.
Stealing pictures from each other.
Okay.
And so I was like, all right, cool. So that process was tough. I went through 3 of them to find like a decent one or whatever. But then, I just bought a small batch just to test the waters. Start off with just samples, and I would just wear it, and I'd see what people's reaction were in videos. I'd see what, you know, like if there was positive feedback and stuff, and then I did a small run, launched a website. They all went quite fast, and I was like, all right, I'm onto something. Whereas,
what was the small run? What numbers?
It was like 40.
Okay.
40 t-shirts, 40 vests.
Got them in and out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I was like, okay, cool. We're onto something here. So then I just started reinvesting that same money.
Did it do better than you thought it was going to do first run?
Yeah, because a lot of people in fitness especially have this big ego here, because a lot of people that start fitness start because of like insecurities and stuff.
Okay, wow.
So I feel like there's always a chip. So they feel like people need to like what I do because I'm on YouTube now.
Okay.
Whereas me, I always take a step back and I'm like, why should someone like this?
But you've already been through that process. So starting up the clothing, you've been through that business kind of startup mentality. So in a way, you're expecting it not. If it doesn't do well, you're like,
exactly.
Okay, it doesn't define me.
Exactly.
I'm just going to be consistent.
Exactly. And it's like, I couldn't go into it guns blazing. I'm going to order 1,000 of everything and then, you know, just hope for the best kind of thing. It's like, you still have to test it. You still have to see whether,
That's the mistake I had with Hungry Underdogs.
Is it? Oh, okay.
I spent $2,000 on loads of clothing.
Yeah.
And thought I was going to move it all.
And it's tough.
Obviously, yeah, it was tough. And what I didn't do, because that was the first thing I ever tried doing, was test the water.
Yeah.
I didn't test the water.
And that's what I did when I first started it in uni.
Okay.
And then I quickly realized that the people that you feel would kind of like get it going, just wanted it free.
How many people want a free t-shirt as well, just like what I plugged to you then? How many people with like just nobody say, give me a t-shirt, it's free promotion for you?
Yeah, everyone. No! Everyone. And it's like, oh yeah, I'll post it, I'll do this, I'll do that. Or, you know, I'll wear it to the gym. And I'm like, yeah, or, you know, there's strategies behind all of that kind of thing. So it's like...
So what's next with your clothing? Because from what I see is you do have a logistics issue in a good way. So by what it looks like is you sell out quicker than you think. So because of that, you bring in loads of new cool stuff. It goes out a lot quicker, then you have no stock left.
Yeah.
Was that a learning process for you? Because to me, that's a good problem to have. It might be stressful, but at least you wouldn't want it to be the other way.
Yeah. It's also strategic as well.
Okay, go explain.
Like, you have to create demand.
Wow. Okay.
You have to give people, because psychology comes into a lot of it. You have to make people, like, obviously I'm not gonna like say, yeah, I've just done an order for 1,000 items and then I've only got 2 there.
Yeah.
But then you don't disclose how much you've got, but then you bring it a little bit under, so then you know that
Simple sales.
force it out quicker.
Of course.
Sells out quicker, creates demand, and then go forward kind of thing. The most recent launch, if I'm honest, I haven't pushed it enough myself.
No, I haven't seen you push a lot right now.
And I've said it in a previous video, like it got to the point a few months ago that I felt like I was pushing other people's brands way more than my own stuff.
Okay.
Because of like, brands are paying for me to promote their stuff or whatever, and I believe in their products and stuff, but then it made me forget about my stuff. So we're taking a slightly different approach, which...
Is there a confliction there? Because I didn't really think about that element, but I guess, yeah, you do quite a lot of brand promotion stuff. When I think about it, when I look onto you're not one of those typical Instagram people who is just always plugging and doing a boring post just for the sake of money.
Yeah.
I feel like you still keep your brand integrity.
Yeah.
I still feel like you stay true to yourself, which is amazing. But yeah, is there a confliction there between brands you represent and also then your brand, or is it hard to balance it all, or are you trying to define or create the difference between the value you provide plus the kind of punch you give people of buy this or follow these people or whatever?
Exactly that.
Is it difficult balancing that?
Yeah, because it is. You can't just be like buy,
Okay.
and that's not me anyway.
That's what a lot of these Love Island people do and stuff like that.
They get a following and just like just plug everything. One, I reject a lot of stuff.
How do people approach you, and how do you get into that position?
It was that's actually funny because back in 2015, when I had 15,000 subscribers, and
15,000. Okay.
And a guy approached me and he was like, "Yo, I'm starting this company called Know What's Up. Doesn't exist anymore, but it's a supplement review company."
Oh yeah, I remember you doing some stuff like that. Yeah.
So we want you to be the ambassador to do the videos. And fast forward a few years, he closed down that company. So then that was who did I join after that? I feel like it was Grenade maybe. But
you
yeah.
was with them first, I think.
I can't remember. But yeah.
You was with Grenade, I think.
Oh yeah, I was with. It was after Grenade.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, after Grenade, then I joined that company.
Do you sign contracts for these? So do you sign contracts, or do you sign contracts now so you can't promote other companies and stuff?
Sign
like
contract
that?
now. So now I'm exclusive to My Protein.
Okay. Plug.
Back then it wasn't. Contracts were just kind of like
was different.
verbal.
Yeah, of course.
So then, fast forward a few years, and he starts a talent management agency. And he was like, "Yo, Gabe, do you want to come on board?" So, and back then he was filming for me as well. So he helped me get my channel from 15,000 to 50,000 from him filming content and helping me with that kind of stuff. And then, started a talent management agency last January and said, "Yeah, do you want to come on board?" And now he facilitates all of my brand deals.
Okay, so you got a good relationship.
Yeah, so he's known me for like we stayed in contact even from then up until now. Like so, he knows me through and through. He knows what stuff that I'll do, what stuff that I won't do. So that's a big part of like keeping my integrity around that and stuff.
Okay, so is he kind of your agent then?
Yeah, he's my manager. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Check you out with a manager. Was that hard? Working with somebody and then them organising you or was it good? Was it like, the right move?
the easiest thing that I've ever done, because he's a very smart kid. He's like, I swear he's like only 23 now.
Okay, wow.
He started his first company like when he was like 19,
Wow,
20.
fair
So it's
play.
like, you know, he's very switched on, and when he wants to learn something, he immerses himself in it. So whenever he says, Gabe, I reckon we should do this, I just go, okay. I don't question it.
Wow.
So
Talk about a little bit about the fitness industry now, because obviously we talk about social media being a highlight reel and everyone's always got their abs out and stuff like that. And what you just said is a massive element of it comes from insecurity.
yeah.
What would you say your biggest problem is with the fitness industry, if you have one? What do you think people should do who's got a following? What messages should they kind of portray or give out? Well, what's your opinion about everything? Because back in 2014 when we met, you were sick of it.
Yeah. I think that because I was getting to a point where I was just fed up of like people saying that they wanted to train, but not actually wanting to train.
Okay.
So that was like from a client point of view.
Oh, okay, I got you.
In terms of, and then there's also the other fitness element, the like social media element of, you know, people can just put out crap or just show their abs and they'll get like huge followings and stuff. But I didn't feel that there was substance behind
value.
what nothing behind it. It was just kind of like, it was very gimmicky. But I've grown from that, and I understand that, you know, I might put out a video that might get less views, but if my message is there and my message is good, it's all good kind of thing. But I do feel a lot of them come with a chip on their shoulder because of the whole ego thing.
Okay.
Because I started training because I wanted to get more girls. I was fed up of like being the skinny kid or whatever, and I was like, I want more girls. I want girls to look at me. And then it quickly changed when I started playing American football. It gave me purpose.
So your training changed then?
So I started training. So as opposed to just wanting to train to just look good for girls, I started training because I wanted to hit the hell out of someone real hard and then look up at me and then be like, you're not even that big. How did you do that?
Yeah.
That was my mission. And then the physique came with that. You know, as a byproduct, but just having a goal that was more than just looking good gave me more purpose, and that's what's kind of like built my mindset and mentality to what it is now.
Okay. That's fascinating. So, I don't want to hold you for too long, but how's married life, man? How's fatherhood? How is it?
It's
And
good.
How do you balance everything? Because I was watching videos with my wife last night, and she said, "Oh, he spends a lot of time with his son." She was surprised, I guess, because you don't normally see that on YouTube videos, especially as it is.
Yeah.
How do you balance everything? Well, and he's starting to become a star on his own, really.
Yeah, he loves the camera now.
Okay.
Well, it's funny you said that. You don't really see much of that on YouTube. For me, like, the reason why I started bringing more family stuff into it is to break the stigma of the black dad.
Oh, wow.
Like that's the level that I was thinking. Like straight away, I was like, bruh, because I see it so much around.
Wow.
You know, like absent dads and stuff
So what
like
is
that.
the stigma? Just what is the stigma to
People always like, oh, yeah. You see in like jokes on flipping Instagram, it pisses me off, and they're like, oh, when did your dad leave you, and stuff like that, and it's like it's a deep topic. People don't acknowledge it, and people acknowledge the negative, but don't acknowledge the positive of the people who are doing it properly, because they don't put it out. So let me put it out. Let me show people that it can be different. I can spend time with my son, and sometimes it is 15, 20 minutes. I'll be working from morning till night. It will get to about 5:30, 6 o'clock. I'll be like, let me have some time with Elijah. And it's not even. I realize that kids don't want everything. Kids don't want toys. Kids don't. They might think they want it, but they want that connection. They want that cuddle. They want that that intimate side of things. Whether that's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, half an hour one day. But then you see some people, they spend the whole day with their kids and they're like this on their phone.
Yeah.
Like that's 15 minutes of
Quality
phone down
time.
and just quality time is more valuable than that. And I was like, I really wanted to get that across in my videos and stuff. And it is tough, like trying to balance everything, like really tough. Sometimes I don't even know how I do it. Like it's
I
nice.
guess that comes from the help of your wife as well.
Exactly.
And just be communicating and
Yeah.
stuff like that as well. Because obviously, as you know, I've got a little one at home as well, and Sam is so supportive of everything I do, as far as I do a lot of traveling, and it is difficult balancing it. But one thing I want to bring up is the race thing, right? Because you just said about the kind of stigma for the black male as far as being dads.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you need to be an individual who spreads that type of positivity, who becomes really a role model for many different people, and actually show people that I'm in this position, so I'm going to use my position and make the most of it and actually make a difference as well?
Yeah.
Do you feel that kind of sense of responsibility? That's the word I'm looking for, actually. Do you feel not responsible completely, but you feel like you have a sense of responsibility? You got a big following on Instagram, YouTube, all of these different platforms. So you feel like you're making the most of it.
Yeah. I mean, anyone with a big platform, they have a responsibility. And I don't think people really acknowledge the kind of like severity of it. Because I did a panel talk where there were like 100 people. And the other people, they were like, everyone's a little bit nervous, like, talking to 100 people. But then you post a YouTube video and it gets thousands of views. And because you're just seeing a number,
Different element.
you don't realize that is 1,000 plus people
Yeah,
watching
that's
you.
interesting. Wow, that's interesting.
And then people they're getting millions of views. That's millions of people watching you.
Fill a stadium of 100,000 people.
Would you be able to stand there and perform the same way that you do on a YouTube
That's
video,
true.
or would you choke? And you know, the responsibility that comes from that is that you're feeding a message out to all of these people. There needs to be something. That's why every time I plan a video, I'm like, what's my message? What's my take-home message from this? Is there like, and how do I portray it within visual storytelling? Because you can't just go around just doing nonsense. And there are loads of people that do that because they're feeding the ego, the beast.
Let's be honest though, right? You could post a lot more semi-naked pictures and probably earn a lot more money than you do now.
Hell yeah.
You could probably get a lot more views and a lot more subscribers than you do right now. But you're being real to yourself. And that's why I don't want to bring fake people onto the podcast. Yeah. That's why I feel like you're doing so well and your fan base is a strong fan base. You just have to jump on Instagram Live to realize that. The feedback you get straight away, the comments you get on your videos. Okay, one of your videos might get 10,000 views, which is amazing, but the comments is boom, 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 boom. Would you rather have 50,000 views and just 2 comments, or 10,000 with 100 comments? I know what I'd rather have, because they're real people engaging in you and supporting you in what you do.
And the funny thing is, brands, people don't realize, people are chasing followers. Brands don't care about followers anymore.
Interaction.
They care about interaction and engagement. And not even engagement, like, you can post, like, it's very tempting for me sometimes. I'm like, all right, if I just post pictures like this or videos like this, then it will get so many more views and stuff. But then you do a video like that, or you post a picture like that, and then you see the type of comments that come up, and you're just like, that there's no value to it. There's no substance behind what the people are saying. Sometimes they just put first, second, third, and then they'll be like, then they'll just like, it'll just be like really silly things like thumbs up emoji or this emoji and stuff. Then I'll post a different video and then it will be like, wow, I really liked it when you said XYZ because this is how I feel. And it's like a long comments of people, like it's connected with people on a deeper level rather than just
it's funny
surface.
See, I released a video the other day and somebody commented in 10 minutes saying first comment. I thought that's going to be my first and only comment.
But people love doing stuff like that.
That's my first and only comment. Thanks for believing in me, though, to think I'm going to get more than one comment. That makes sense. But, okay, let's wrap this up a little bit. quick question on the spot.
Mm.
If you could sit down with only 3 people, dead or alive, at a dinner table, who would it be? Celebrities? What? Who would it be?
Ooh.
Only 3 people, dead or alive. Actually, go to alive first.
Alive first. 3 people alive.
3 people.
First.
So maybe someone who inspires you, someone you look up to, just in general. Somebody you just love to kick it with.
Brian Dawkins.
Okay.
Number 1.
I know who Brian Dawkins is. But who is Brian Dawkins?
Strong safety for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Former,
yeah.
and he's
retired now. Yeah, he's nuts. Like I see a lot of similarities, but also with him on and off the field, he knows himself.
Integrity.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'd love to just pick his brain.
Amazing.
Understand what goes on in there. Number 2 would be Gary V.
Okay.
Like he's just.
I'm sure you can get on one of his videos. So if you went to New York, I'm sure,
he's on my bucket list.
No, he does that all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that you can make that happen.
Yeah, he's one of the goals. So.
But you can make that happen. I know that.
And then Eric Thomas.
Okay.
Eric Thomas got me out of a very dark place.
Okay. Wow.
During my YouTube journey.
Wow. See, Eric Thomas probably was kind of a reason why I probably do what I do.
Mm.
I've got a saved comment on my phone. I actually came up on what's the thing on Facebook? Time Hop? Is it Time Hop? When basically you can see what was said years ago.
Yeah.
And it was like 7 years ago. He commented on my wall and said, "I can't." He said, "I can't like your page because I've got too many followers or whatever." But he says, "I like what you do and keep it up."
Wow.
But that was back when he wasn't
huge.
who he was, and he's another example of he was getting at that point 5,000 views to his Monday videos, and then all of a sudden he blew up.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's just another great thing to see. So also then dead, who would it be? 3 people dead.
Malcolm X.
Okay.
It's just such a intriguing mind. Like everything that he's done is just like I just love to just chat. You know, like you just want to pick someone's brain apart and just see how they function and see whether there's similarities between you and them. Muhammad Ali.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause he's just
Float like a butterfly.
it's just legendary. Like it's
Not just for the boxing,
no.
for what he stood up for.
Yeah,
100%.
and it's like to stand up. Like people wouldn't stand up for that shit now.
No.
People would they would cower away and they wouldn't really do anything, and he just kind of like, this is what I'm doing and this is why I'm doing it kind
100%.
of thing. Who else?
One more.
My granddad, because I never got to chat to
Oh
him.
wow. Okay, so what would be one of the first questions you'd ask him, or say to him?
I'd like to know what lessons he taught my dad, because my dad has taught me a lot of lessons, and I'd love to see whether it came initially from him.
So would you say you're such a great dad because of your dad?
Yeah, I've learned loads of stuff from my dad, and the same stuff that I'm trying to pass down to Elijah. So I'd love to see if that chain,
Yeah, of course.
like is like those values
Of course.
running through.
Okay, so one more question. What's next? What's next for Gabriel Sey? What can we expect from you over the next couple years, and also when you're gonna hit that big 1 million subscribers?
Ooh, milli subs. That, I'm being very strategic about the content I post.
Okay.
Not in a sense of in growth, but in terms of the message I want to put across. So like, I'm doing a lot more dad stuff. So I still want to teach people like the bodybuilding side of stuff, but also diversify and then show people that there's a lot more to me than just fitness and bodybuilding.
But the dad stuff falls into the fitness stuff as well.
Yeah.
Because dad bods.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's like people want to stay fit as
Yeah.
a dad and stuff like that. And just like, there's so much that goes on in my head. And I think like, for me, I have a platform and I want to just spill everything that's in my head, but you have to do it. You have to do it carefully.
Okay.
Like otherwise people will just switch off.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, cool. Where can people find you?
Instagram, Gabriel_Sey, and YouTube, Gabriel Sey. Everything's the same.
I fully recommend checking out Gabriel's content. It is phenomenal. A lot of people don't actually inspire me, and there's not many people I look up to. But one, because you're a friend I can reach out to if I need to, or if I have any questions, that definitely plays a big part. And even though we don't connect all the time, I feel like I resonate a lot with your journey. So I'm just literally mad proud of you for what
Thanks,
you've done.
man.
And
And
I just
you,
know
like-
that the next thing is going to get bigger, and it's only going to get better. And I'm sure the next time we meet up as well, hopefully, well, not hopefully, the progress we would have made in that time will be massive,
sure.
because it's about consistency at the end of the day.
Exactly.
So with that said, guys, that's a wrap up of the first ever Dreams to Reality podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. There will be a lot more content coming. If you don't have me on social media, then make sure you follow me as well. CamParkerHUD. I'm your tallest motivational speaker you would ever. You're gonna let me get my stuff out? I gave you time to talk now. Okay, I'm just small. Okay, but with that said, thank you guys. Please give us a like, give us a subscribe, and we'll see you at the next podcast. Peace.